So I decided to make a video in response to a lot of I try to keep my finger on the pulse of what's going on in the world around me. And one of the things I've noticed here recently is there seems to be a lot of angst between people who are employed as mechanics and people who are doing work for people independently as mechanics. I think these things are some of the age-old issues, why there's so much angst. There's an old story about this guy, old man, shows up to a boat after several people have been out to the engine to fix it, takes his hammer, whacks it in the right spot, engine starts again, and he bills the guy a whole lot of money. I never believe that's fair. To me, that's like the Vatican having bones in the back that they don't want to let you see. Information and the truth about what's around us should be available to everybody. I keep saying this, but we are not in the dark ages. There are no locks on books. So, how do we break the angst between the employer, employee, the customer, the guy providing a service? I'm going to go over two things. One, real quick, is how to be a good customer. I'm going to say a few things, but there's probably a lot more I can elaborate on. Let me know if you want me to. Another thing, too, please share these videos. I have great response for likes and subscribers, but not a lot of traction in sharing. And let me know what it is you need me to say or not say, but how you need to prepare the information. But I'm here to give information because I believe that we are liberated by two things in this world: information and choices. Now, you can make choices all day, but without the information, you'll make poor ones. And without the information, I mean, who knows where people would be without the correct information to guide us. So anymore, there's a lot of things that I see in the world, and I can talk about them aside from this. But this in particular, being a good customer, the first thing you never want to do to somebody is minimize what it is that they do. When you look at somebody, and everyone should know there's an hourly rate, all right, to hire somebody, and for mechanics, there's a lot of overhead that people they don't really think about. They think we buy these tools as a way of flexing or buying a flashy car, but what you have to think about is we bought those tools to be really good at our job, not for leisure. So to do work with, efficient work at a high cost. So don't minimize what services we're providing by saying first thing, I know it's no big deal, but can you take a look at this? Well, if I went to an artist and said, hey, I know it's no big deal, but can you paint me a picture of this setting, or anyone to ask them to do their service, that wouldn't be fair. I know why this is really prevalent, and it's because the mechanics take advantage of knowing small and subtle things that if that individual knew, they would never have to pay you. So that is what I'm getting at here. Is this whole channel is based on you, the end user, being able to check what it is that you can, and us as the mechanics being able to give what information we can available. I've been watching a lot of guys in specific dealerships. Well, one in particular is Diesel Tech Chris, good guy, and he seems to really want to show you guys things that the dealers charge you a lot of money for. Check into his channel. There's a lot of other guys telling, I can't remember, Big Daddy Diesel maybe. There's a lot of guys on TikTok who are sharing the same sentiments, but they're taking a bit of some of them are taking a bit of a hard-hearted position towards you, the consumer of their service. So if you don't have to use their service, they're happy to give their information. And then I think in the end, the equilibrium will be that all of the people, and you'll notice I don't do this from a script, so I jump around, but the equilibrium will be that all the people who wanted that information, that little thing about where to bang the hammer, we'll tell them. But if you want me to show up with my hammer, don't expect me to do it for free. Don't expect me to do it for 5, 10, 15, 20, whatever you think I make for labor or should be paid at a shop. That is not what I have to incur if I go into business on my own. If I can't do everything on my own, which I did on my own business, because every time I hired people, I walked backwards. I was paying them I was paying them well and for no service provided. Literally, I was paying them to teach them, and they were not billing out any kind of time. I was paying them so much because I believe in paying people well that there's no real way a guy could do that. That's why I told you the other day at the other video, it's not reasonable to think that a boss can pay you 30 to 40 beyond that and still make a profit at 100, 150. The overhead's there. I mean, if you get into a good place, it's thousands of dollars for a building, $10,000 a month for a building. I know I'm getting sidetracked, but I want to finish out with these two last thoughts. As the customer, I think that you need to, or as mechanics rather, I think we need to push management to recognize our worth. And we also need to push the customer now so he understands that we know what we're saying. But we also have to explain it to him so that when in the end they can look at it and go, that's not near as simple as I thought. But the layman is always, the uneducated are always willing to throw stones at something they don't understand. And we spend a lot of time learning the ins and outs of very like multifacets of like plumbing. It's been said before, but a leaking charge air cooler pipe, if you don't know how to check for a leaking pipe, which is what, plumbers do, they charge pipes and they check for leaks. On top of that, we've got to be able to do so many other things, and I'm not minimizing their jobs either. They're experts. I'm nowhere near where they would be. My point is this: we in the trades need to do our best to impress upon our employers or our customers that what we do comes at this cost. But what we can't do is come at like a jerk. You can't be, do you know what I pay? Instead, explain the complexity of it and know the complexity of it, which leads me to the next. Recognize your worth for management, and the second is to be of worth. If you're on your damn phone at my business, I got no business with you. Because this only works. This dog hunts when people bill out hours, right? So if I'm working and I'm managing a shop and I've got 5 guys, I did the math running my own business. I could have easily employed 3 people at almost $50 an hour and charged $150 to do electrical diagnostics. The problem was none of them knew my skill set. And what I'm finding more and more is that there's a lot of guys who know how to use doodads and gimmicky tools. But if you hand them a multimeter and say, I want you to map this whole circuit, I want you to write it down, and then I want you to troubleshoot where my points of failure could be, and then I want you to go test them out, and I want it done in 2 hours. They're going to look at you like you're crazy. But their doodad, they might be able to do it in 2 hours. But what about when the doodad starts going bad? And things go bad. That's why fluke meters don't go bad, really. But cheaper meters go bad. I told you, I've been through 4 of them. So you're taking measurements on things that cost thousands of dollars, and you're wrong? And you've been doing it for weeks, and something's going... I know this because I've looked at meters, taken readings, and then said, that's not right. Taking them again, hit the meter, and all of a sudden it starts to register. So you're making determinations on high dollar shit and $150 an hour of troubleshooting with your shitty meter. So I know I'm kind of going off and that's a rant, but the point I'm trying to make is I see the angst between the people paying for our service, but I think that we could alleviate a lot of this anger if we were kinder to the people who don't understand what it is we do, and if the people who wanting our service were kinder and not trying to minimize that we spend a lot of time and effort in trying to be good at this, and it's not quite as simple as they try to make it out to be. Okay, I'll end with that. Have a good night, guys.